Hello, hello, my beautiful friends. It's Izabela Lundberg here, the World Messenger, and I'm inviting you for another epic episode of Legacy Leader Show. And today's guest is nothing short than exceptional in what he does and how he does it. First of all, he is phenomenal networker, great person to get you in front of right people in the right time for right purpose. And at the same time, he is someone who has been in financial industry for quite a bit and it's able and capable to translate all the needs that we're seeing right now needed for organizations, specifically nonprofit sector, to thrive. From adults to obviously currently the most recently youth, and being part of the collabs and labs and transformative types of organization that are taking their operation to next level. And don't we all need a better operation these days? But also someone who is absolutely, again, all great human and more than anything, great connector. Without further ado, let me introduce you to Paul Roberts. Paul, how are you?
Wonderful, Izabela. Thank you very much for inviting me. I certainly appreciate it and look forward to the conversation.
Likewise, I'm super eager that you are here with us in the Legacy Leader Show. I know you've been going through a lot of changes and transformation. You're based in LA. LA, it's been a lot going on under the trenches just around the COVID era. But now post-COVID, as things are slowly shifting, you pivoted numerous times. One thing I also didn't mention, obviously, you also are fulfilling one of your longest dreams, which is playing guitar and being part of the group and also tapping into your music passion. So please, could you tell us, how do you pivot during the challenging times and what are you up to these days?
Well, lots of things. Thank you very much, Izabela. There are a number of things that I'm currently working on. First and foremost, I'll start with the paying gig first. I've been working with a nonprofit organization called Collab Youth, which started out of the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Southern California area, and is out there working with 13-year-olds to 19-year-olds on workforce development and career development for under-resourced and underrepresented youth. What Collab does, and I can show you their website very quickly. If I can, oops, wrong one. There's the Collab website. And what we do is we actually empower students to start thinking about their careers early on. And what we try to do is give them the step up that they need so that they can actually work in their environment and in their community, help their families, and grow and decide if they are looking to go on the college route or on a vocational route. We do a lot of things in the Los Angeles County area, and we're also now expanding into Riverside, San Bernardino, San Diego, and Ventura counties. So there are tremendous opportunities. We're just starting our fall cohort. We actually have our largest group, over 105 students will be starting a 9-week program. They spend about an hour, 2 days a week, connecting with other students and learning from top industry people. And along with a short curriculum and surveys, we bring back data to our sponsors and to our partners that is quantifiable and allows them to really understand what we're trying to do for the next generation.
Wow. First of all, that is insanely impressive. And knowing that you would suffer so much during the COVID and without having capacity emotionally, mentally to endure, we also know grim statistics of so many not only attempting but succeeding and committing the suicide. We knew that that is one of the most vulnerable population because they really went through a lot of hardship. And as you said, underprivileged and the ones that are not having necessarily great family support and family environment. First of all, I want to kudo you for contributing such a great, not only program, but also your expertise to make the program successful.
Yeah.
So what results are you seeing, I mean, in such a short period of time?
Well, we're seeing some incredible results. The students will come in with a basic idea. And I'll give you a few specific examples. We had some students that wanted to go into law enforcement and realized about halfway through that their passion was really event planning and entertainment. So they are able to look at what they at themselves and learn. We do an onboarding quiz called the collab quiz that really helps them understand who they are, where their strengths are, and where they can actually focus. We found that over 70% of the students that are involved in our program want to work either during high school or in their post-secondary education. They want to bring back and help support their families and their community. And that's been very important to them. So we work on trying to get them apprenticeships and internships and jobs wherever they want. Once they've completed the program, and the data we collect is only data on students that actually complete the program. So once they complete the program, they're a collab member for life, and they're part of our alumni association. They can always come back. We've got opportunities for job placement. If they decide to pivot in their career, they can come back to the website, find new opportunities, and really try to make themselves better and use the skills that they have to improve the lives of their families and their community, and even the people they work with.
Mm, that is very, very powerful. And I agree. When we were so young, you have to self-discover. We don't know what we don't know. And I love that you have an opportunity for them to figure that out sooner or later, because how many we know kids go from college, from high school to college, and they declare the major and they graduate, and then they go in real world and realize this is not for me. And then they wasted not only time, but resources, right? And it's
Yeah.
like, what can I now do with that degree? And then as they go from change for second, third, or fourth time before they finally find something that will help them in the long run. And that's can be avoidable, can be.
Absolutely. And we also focus on soft skills like social and emotional wellness. We do, everything is virtual. So everything is online. If you're 16 to 18 years old, you can get yourself a mentor who is also a top person in their industry. A lot of the students actually work with their mentors far beyond the cohort. So there are great opportunities there. And we're in October of this year, we're going to actually have a social and emotional wellness retreat for students in the beautiful Topanga Canyon area, which is just south of Malibu, California, and really help them get tools to deal with things like depression and suicide and conflict resolution that are going to be so vital to their well-being going into their careers and their college years.
That's fantastic, and such a beautiful actually part of the Malibu area. And I'm super glad you get part of it and get to enjoy that. But also to mentor the youth that does not have a good role models. For everybody watching and listening, I'm sure everywhere around the world, since this is a global podcast and the show, different parts of the world are affected in similar ways. But here in the United States, even if you have a good family members representation, both parents, not necessarily always have the skill set and mindset that can really help you. And a lot of families are fragmented, unfortunately, right? And then like, who do you choose? That's why leadership comes into play so heavily. So you guys are also setting them up, I would say, for phenomenal leadership trajectory.
Yes, and we're looking to set these students up for success. We've had students go, find internships in cybersecurity, and and internships in engineering and development. And we even have one student who just recently got accepted into the internship program at Disney University. So there are tremendous opportunities, and the quality of people that we are seeing is absolutely phenomenal. For those students that go all in and complete the program, and many of these students actually complete the program twice or three times, because there's enough varied information and different industries that are available, that they learn something new every time they join a cohort.
That is fantastic. And Paul, with all of that in mind, obviously, do you mind, for everybody that's watching and listening, kind of go for a second, a little bit back and figure it out and help them to figure it out? How did you become such a great role model in leadership and mentorship yourself? Who were some of your great role models? And then how did you build a sense of not only your own leadership style and capacity, but also continue consistently to demonstrate that with others?
Well, I would tell you I was extremely lucky. I had a very good family life. I went to a summer camp that actually, the leadership of the summer camp actually became, surrogate parents, to me, and really act during the summer, and really gave me the opportunity to perform and shine. Even in my first job, I worked for the Los Angeles Olympic Committee for the 1984 games. I'm already dating myself a little bit, but
Impressive.
there were a number of people who said to me, your work is terrific. You don't have to keep coming to me and telling me what you've done. I know what you're good at doing it. Just go do it. And that gave me the confidence to actually go out and perform, whether it was in a job situation or whether I was, as you mentioned earlier, would get to playing guitar and performing, live on stage. I got that confidence. And that also led, in my business career, where I had mentors in wholesaler buying groups when I was in the distribution business, that allowed me to shine and take a leadership role. So what I look at trying to do is really look to, I've had some tremendous opportunities, and my goal is to really pay it forward. And if I can pay it forward to just one person who succeeds in what they want to do in life, that's great satisfaction to me.
I love that. So everything always starts with someone, right? That is being there and recognize our potential, our skill set, and then help us a little bit with the mindset, and off we go. And as a result, we see tremendous, not only impact and difference in individual life, but also around people around us. So yes, kudos for sharing that. But also that really also helped you to put in interesting trajectory with the company, specifically around something that's most complicated and most complex that people really recognize, which is operation, how organizations really work well together internally with all different departments and day to day. How did you master that craft, and what was that journey like? And obviously, what are we seeing today?
Well, the journey was, was a bumpy one, to say the least. I mean, you come to find in many organizations that information is separated into silos. Procurement has their information, sales has their information, inventory control has their information, IT has their information, and nobody's really talking to each other. A lot of the time, they're talking at each other. I need to do this because it's important to me, and my priority from the boss is X. We need to do this and increase sales, so you need to put more inventory on the floor. And what I really found is there needs to be more cohesiveness and more cooperation between departments. and being able to, help companies understand that, there is great value that sales can bring that can help procurement and inventory control maintain proper inventory levels. And this is very important, especially today with the continued supply chain issues worldwide, not to mention locally and regionally. We've all seen stories about what's going on at the ports, where they used to be a 5-6 day a week operation. Now they're a 24/7 operation, and there are boats backed up in various ports. There are rail issues. The rail companies have been cutting back because they're in the midst of union negotiations. And I've worked with both union operations and non-union operations, and the main common thread is the value of communicating well and making sure that everyone is on the same page. Because when everyone's on the same page and you have the right product in stock, you have marketing talking about the right product, and promoting it, you have sales selling the right product, you all of a sudden have a much smoother business operation, which allows you to do more great things and increase your profitability.
Mm. That is so very true. And it's so interesting because we all know in large scheme of things how things can work or should work, right? Why I think it's one of those reasons that there are still these silos and fragmentation in organizations instead of cohesiveness and harmony.
Well, I think that for a lot of people, and I'm not, pointing at anyone specific, but information can be thought of as power. And if you know something that somebody else doesn't, that can give you some sort of advantage in a specific situation. My thought is, when you are working as a team within an organization, and every member of that organization should be considered a team, because even and I'll take my distribution experience as an example. Even your delivery truck driver is a part of your customer service team. They're the ones who see the product get delivered on the front line. They can identify an issue. They can get right back to sales and to procurement with that issue and get it resolved in some way, shape, or form, as quickly as possible. So if everyone knows that, yes, there is a leadership hierarchy and certain people will make certain decisions that either will or will not sit well with everybody, it's important to keep those lines of communication open to keep operations running smoothly.
It's such a beautiful segue here. And again, I want to say thank you for reflecting, and you're right. And that time when we hold information and use that for a power play, it's not serving us anymore, right? It's like, even if we have the information, but if we don't do anything about it, still doesn't help, right? Let alone when we withhold or withdraw crucial components, so then we make poor decisions. And that's why we're having a plethora of issues these days.
Yeah, well, you want to make, a very wise man once said to me, the definition of being in business is about managing risk. And the best way to manage risk is to have as much information as you possibly can about an opportunity. The more information you have, and the more that you can read the tea leaves, if you will, it allows you to make a better informed decision. And that takes information and cooperation from everybody on the team.
Yes, that is so true. So with that in mind, I'm curious, what are some of the trends and what are your suggestions, recommendations? Because we're having here, obviously, professionals that are listening Legacy Leadership, that they wanted to really improve their leadership or take it to the next level, and that they're already thinking about their legacies as they're contributing individually, but also organizations they're representing. And we're seeing so many tripping on all these problems that they're really diluting the value, not only to their team members, but also to customers. So what would you recommend for all of them to really take a close look and really execute on things that are essential, that are most important right now.
Sure. There are some great opportunities out there that not every, not people always see, people don't always see them.
Yes.
Because when we're in a business organization, we sometimes, look at our little sphere and we don't see what's really outside our door, not to mention what may be across the street.
Yeah.
Um, I've always been a proponent of working with competition as much as against competition, because if you are friendly competitors, and
Mhm.
in my situation I was able to sell to a number of my competitors certain products and services that gave them value and gave me value and profitability in return. I could then communicate with them and understand what was going on in the local and regional marketplace. So you have that connection. The other two areas I would also suggest are, there is great value in what I would call industry buying groups, where
Yes.
you can talk to other regional players that are similar to yourselves, and utilize best practices and really learn from how other operations are, whether it be in delivery tracking, or in IT, or in sales, marketing, and social media. And then you have your industry associations that usually hold trade fairs locally and conventions nationally. They have great educational programs that are very, very valuable, and it gives you time to connect and network with other manufacturers and and I keep rolling back to my distribution days, but it's other associations, whether they be vendors or they be customers or they be like companies in other regions of the country or other regions of the world, that you can actually learn from and take into account. And who knows, one day somebody who is considered a competitor may end up being your best customer.
That is brilliant, and I really love connection to how one thing never changes, right? Satisfaction and need to satisfy customer needs, whatever we sold them, not to oversell them and under deliver, but in contrary, continue to over deliver and under promise, so that they know who they can count on, who their trusted partner and all of that is. And through all of these ups and downs, I love what you said, you were able even to sell that to your competitors. That is special art and special skill to still create a win-win. And I want to first of all kudos you for your amazing networking skills and opportunity to bring people together for the common goal, and also corral people in community to take action. How did you develop those skills? Because I'm sure so many people don't even know yet how well effectively network, let alone conduct themselves in a business. What is the secret sauce? Come on, Paul.
I would have to say that, following my parents' example of really connecting with people in various social circles, has was a great way to start. I was able to really see what the value was when you came and you sat and either watched a sporting event or went to a gala event and really talked to people about things, because there were every opportunity to communicate with people is an opportunity to get a nugget of an idea.
Yes.
And instead of just the platitudes, because everybody says, hi, how are you? You look great, nice tux, those types of, conversations. But sometimes you do get the conversation where they say, how are things going at work? How is business going? I had this idea that, I wanted to talk to you about sometime in the next week or so, but here it's a great time to spend a couple of minutes. And really, understanding that, I've cultivated over the years a network of people that are, would not necessarily correlate to what I did for my career or what I'm doing today. One of the examples I could give you, I have a friend of mine who I recently reconnected with who has been doing speech writing. And I said, wait a minute, I've got a friend who I've known for a very long time, who was a speechwriter for some Fortune 50 companies. Let me connect you two. And the beauty of it is they're able to connect and I get out of the way. I've made my, I've done what I can to try to help them with either their, further that development of that skill, or I've just helped somebody make a new friend. And that's where it's incredibly valuable. And that's something that, speaking back to CoLab Youth, that's where we're talking about with mentors, you have the ability to create these connections that can be transformative.
Specifically in times like this, when everything speeds up, right? And when we have so many competing priorities, more than ever, it's important to know who are the big players out there, who is holding the torch in that space, or who is a great role model, or who is the trusted partner. And as a result, we rely on that, right? It's like, because it's impossible to get to know everyone, and it's impossible to be able to maintain these relationships unless you really are very honing that, not only the skill, but also understanding like who are the cream of the crop right here, because it's just so much, so saturated in many ways.
Yes, no, it's very true. And you never know when you can create a connection with someone until you try. It doesn't work all the time, but making the effort has value. It has value to me personally. It has value to the person that I am trying to connect. And if it works and there is an opportunity is created, the sky's the limit.
I love your attitude and philosophy, and that is also a great ingredient for success, specifically when we're going through tremendous change, right? And we have to pivot. But some of the things you pivoted, not only having your own consulting firm, but you also did something really interesting. You fulfilled something you wanted to from your teenage time, I believe. Could you tell us, what are you currently doing that also gets that spark going on daily basis for you?
Well, I was fortunate enough to meet a woman who is a substitute teacher in the Los Angeles Unified School District. And over a Thanksgiving dinner one night, we talked about playing music. I grabbed the guitar, and I have been playing guitar since my very young days. I won't tell you what that is because it's a long time ago in a century far, far away. But so we decided, let's sit down and we'll write a song. Well, we wrote our first song in probably about 20 minutes, honed it a little bit more, and worked on a second song that took only about 15 minutes, because I came with chords, and guitar chords, and she came with words and melody that just happened to sync and fit. Well, the pandemic hits, and then we decide that we're going to continue this process, and 2 songs over the next year became 11. So
wow.
So we wrote 11 songs during probably a 13-month period, and we were able to take some of those songs and bring them into production with a wonderful producer. And we're actually in the midst of finishing up we've got about 6 songs left that we have to produce professionally, but there will be an album coming out sometime in 2023. And if you would like, what I can do here is I can give you a little tidbit of one of the songs that we have been working on. We've been doing some live shows and open mics in the Southern California area. And so her name is Kimberly Lee, and I'll do the shameless plug now. On YouTube, it's Kimberly Lee Sings, and you'll see that on the screen. So
That's
I will
fantastic. Please share with us. We'd love to hear, because it's never too late to pursue your
absolutely,
dream and your passion, and you're
absolutely,
an example of
never
that.
too late. So that's a little bit of a tidbit of it. So it's,
That's
you can see more on Kimberly Lee Sings. What we actually do is we've got, snippets of our recording sessions, and we actually do a whole Throwback Thursday series of songs that we like, that other artists wrote over the years, and it's just been a lot of fun. The last 3 years have really brought my creativity back to a really high level, and in that whole side of the brain that was kind of put away in business and career. All of a sudden, it's there's more stuff out there, and you can create a wonderful balance with it.
And I love it. And the reason I want everybody here that is watching and listening actually to see this, you turn into this amazing, cool rock star with guitar and a different personality, and keeping it real. I love it. Which also shows that it's never too late to pursue your passion and true interest, and let yourself open and be vulnerable, and see where that takes you. And who would ever thought you're going to have the first album coming on 2023? That's amazing.
That's right. That's right. It's Kimberly Lee. She is also on Instagram. I think it's Girl on the Go for You, the number 4U. So she puts up stuff all the time. I manage the YouTube channel. So, and it's been a labor of love. It's a lot of fun, and she is incredibly talented, and she has made me a better guitar player as a result.
See, guys, when you partner with the right people, and when you also unleash your passion, magic happens, right? And as a result, not only you're better, she's better, and you guys are together as a group, and in chemistry and deliverables of music and what art and craft you can create. But that is as easily and equally important how applicable it is tapping into creativity, because it's a different side of the business, different side of every single one of us. So with that in mind, we'll definitely make sure we get all of those links so people can find it. But when we really started this conversation, we really wanted to, Paul, get a sense of, as you already shared, your current passions, from youth to music to operations, and helping businesses solve some of their most complex problems. And also pivoting, right? Mm-hmm. So for everyone that is still feeling stuck, and many people are, what would you say in closing some of your best lessons learned? And I know that some of them were painful, and it's very difficult, right, when we find ourselves during challenging times. But then again, it's like, how can we swim? How can we get out of this situation, right? What would you suggest and give them as a piece of advice that are feeling stuck and they're not feeling hopeless? Hopeful and feeling hopeless at the moment.
I would say, when you're feeling stuck and not, and not seeing, because we all get that sense of complacency. We all kind of get those blinders. Because I've been in jobs where I, worked a 10 to 12 hour day, and then I would come home, and then I would work another hour or two. So you get to the point where it's not fulfilling. And, there is such a thing, I believe, as work-life balance, but don't be afraid to pivot. and look for opportunities that absolutely interest you. It may be, a small kernel of an idea that you may have. I have a friend of mine who, actually went from running a large computer company to actually baking, a healthy, a healthy granola bar. He pivoted and he found something that really said something to him and made him feel good, and really created a new opportunity for him. So there are opportunities out there to pivot. And what I found out, in the long run, I was in a job for a few decades, and I thought I was the norm. And I realized I was the exception. And until I got to the point where it wasn't fulfilling me anymore and realized I had to pivot, that's when it created the new opportunities for me. And without that pivot, I would have never been able to make, what I feel are necessary contributions to help me pay things forward.
Mm. Such a beautiful words of wisdom. And I love that when we think that we're norm and we're figured out that we're exception, those are the exceptions that move the needle. And then there are early trailblazers to make a lot of great early adaptation or transformation, as you were mentioning earlier. So with that in mind, Paul, what is in the bucket list? Since like you've been doing everything and anything, what's left there that would you like to accomplish?
Oh, there's lots left. We're actually looking to do some live performances with our music. I look to continue to work with Collab Youth to get them, they're in the midst of, finalizing their nonprofit status. So getting them to become sustainable, and, always looking for new opportunities to make connections, and to see where we can take things, because sometimes you just got to get off the floor and start looking up to realize that there's some opportunities there.
That's fantastic. But with that in mind, obviously you're living your legacy and leading with it. But what would you like to be remembered, known for? What would you like to leave behind and be known for your legacy?
I would say that he always paid it forward, that he always wanted to make that additional connection, that he wanted to do right by the people that he was working for and working with, and really trying to make a difference wherever he was.
You're definitely doing that, my friend, and I'm deeply grateful for just things you chose to step in and help me, and it's just such a great ways to see people coming, finding the purpose, desire, or eagerness to being eager to really not only make your dream come true, but also help others to make their dreams come true. And that's a true leadership too, when you are selfless and servant, others come to serve and support you as well. It doesn't work like that, huh? Very interesting.
Yeah. Well, you do the best you can, and when it works, it's incredibly satisfying for all those involved.
Thank you for listening to Legacy Leader Show. If you enjoyed the content and had a positive experience, then please leave us a positive rating. In addition, leave us a positive review whenever you are listening on whatever platform there might be. Make sure your friends and family also know about the benefit and value that we provide and what we have to offer. Cheers.